Lake Show, another one. Lake Show got another one, baby. Lake Show got another one, baby. And we told y'all. I predicted that Lakers in 6, baby. Told y'all, baby. Let's go, man.
I had Lakers in 5. I was wrong on that, but I called this at the beginning of the season, pre-Rona. This is in October or 2019, whatever episode we was on there. Called it. Lakers gonna bring it home this year. I don't care what kind of chip, bubble chip, regular chip. It was gonna be Lakers in 6, like Hill said. Oh man, bro, any chip, man. But look, they still don't want to give your guy his due, man. Now, we talked about it. We talked about it, right? We talked about how prior to it looking like the Lakers were gonna win, everybody was just giving the bubble all types of props. Yeah. Saying this is some of the best basketball. I mean, and we was getting games every night, and teams were playing back, only getting one night off. So we were seeing all these elite ballers every other night or every night because they were just taking turns off, right? And we was just loving it, and the games was magnificent. And we were seeing young players come of age. That was the beauty of it, right? And then all of a sudden, when it became apparent, when we went up 2-0 and it became apparent, then we went up 3-1, they just was like, this is an asterisk. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? Like, nah, bro. That's what we not gonna do. I don't care whoever says it for the rest of my life. If you walk up to me talking about asterisk, I'm gonna say, you're absolutely right. It is an asterisk, just like Mark Jackson said during the live broadcast. And there is an asterisk because this title was more difficult than any other title we've ever seen. And the reason being is basketball players, professional ones, normally have the luxury of going home. They normally have the comforts of their home, their family, their children, all of that. So now you're dealing with the stress of a pandemic. You're in a dormitory lifestyle living. You're away from your family. You got real life issues that you can't leave the bubble to address. So it's like, this is the most, we've never seen nothing like that. So if you're gonna put an asterisk on it, you damn right you put one on there, because this was the most difficult socially for any players to have to deal with. And especially for the Heat and the Lakers, they had to be in the bubble longer than anybody else. And now they have to be there when other people are starting to not be there. So now towards the end, ain't nobody to talk to but you. So all of your other friends from the bubble, they're gone. So it's like now it's just your teammates.
People don't highlight that part. Like, people were leaving the bubble. So that making the bubble is less, like I said, it's less people. That makes it worse. It makes it worse. Matter of fact,
the pressure that when you see people leave, the pressure goes up. You feel me? Come on now.
You ever been to summer school?
Just to get ahead. You feel
me? But you I wouldn't say reason. I didn't say summer school was for other reasons too. So, I don't know why summer school got a negative connotation. Let's change that. Summer school is for good reasons as well. I went there to get ahead as well, brother. Let's not do that. We're not gonna do that. But on campus, it's terrible during the summer.
Absolutely.
It's terrible during the summer. It's not the same.
Well, it has some perks too.
Just like the bubble. You see what I'm saying?
But overall, the campus is terrible, and it's pretty boring on the summer. But you can get you know how, like in the movies and the sitcom, it always be the one guy and the one girl on campus. You can get that type of thing happening. You feel me, in the summertime?
like my guy with the Rockets, Johnny. He was gonna get his COVID test privately. How long have I been a Lake all my life, Sean? Don't try to play me like that. I've been there all my life. My aunt used to watch me, and she used to play ESPN Classics all the time, man. They always played the great games, and a lot of the great games were from the Showtime Lakers. And I was like, hold on, this basketball looks way different from all the other basketball. Like Showtime era looked like he could play in this era. So I got enamored with that. So I'm like, you know what? She was a Laker fan. I became a Laker fan from that. I had some tough times, so don't make it seem like just because my franchise is a historic franchise, don't make it seem like I didn't have any tough times, brother. But yeah, that was a hard fought championship. Like I said, it was one of the best that we've seen in a while. It was hard fought, even though that the Heat did look disadvantaged on paper.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't play like it. They showed they didn't play like it. They fought.
They didn't play like it most of the series, but towards that last game, but it was just to the fact, man, that bro, Game 5 was one of the best finals games that I've seen ever. I'm putting it's in my list of top finals games that I've seen, and I've seen every single finals game since '88. I'm just trying to tell you, me and my brothers, since we were little boys, we seen every single one, and that's just a fact. So that's one of the best ones I've ever seen. And I'm taking it out of the bubble of the series, and I'm just looking at the game where everything would have been a win or go home for the Heat with all the pressure, and for Jimmy to just rise to the occasion like that with Bron playing the way that he was playing, it was unbelievable, man. And I just feel like it was one of those times. There's certain times where you just watching a game where and it's two stars like that. It's very seldom where you'll see two stars like that with a lot on the line and both of them just be clicking. Like Jimmy was getting anywhere he wanted to in the paint and hitting over whoever. Bron was pulling up from 30 and hitting like that's what he always do. You feel me? Just unbelievable, man. I just hope, that we can get that type of basketball back next year, because the bubble basketball was legit.
It was a hard-fought victory, Sean. That he just, like Cannon just described, Game 5. It was like two fighters just standing in the middle of the ring, letting them hands go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Game 5 was tough. That makes it tough. That means you got to go out there and finish them in Game 6, because anything can happen in the Game 7. That was a hard fought. We're not gonna do that, Sean.
But luckily, most people knew, like, the laws of probability, the role players for the Heat. So you knew that Jimmy could probably be consistent throughout the series. But it's like the Tyler Heroes, the what's Kendrick Nuns and Duncan Robinson. So it's like that they're gonna be themselves, but if they do ball out, it's gonna be in spurts, probably not the whole entire series. So man, if the Heat could have got the role players to just show up in the next game, who knows what could have happened. But I think the Lakers defensively came out and said, like, no, like, we let a lot of, like, that last pick and roll that the Heat ran that gave Jimmy the wide open lane for the foul in Game 5. They said, nah, we can't let nothing like that happen in Game 6. And that's what AD just became a defensive anchor. Finally, I've been waiting for it. And it's like in the game in 2K, when your guy's a defensive anchor, everybody just plays better. And the way that he was fronting the front court but still playing the post, it was dominant in Game 6, and he should have played like that all series.
If Corona doesn't end before the season, do we have another bubble? I think they're going to try to avoid another bubble at all costs, to be quite honest. That bubble was
a long bubble. That's different.
Yeah, that's,
you feel me?
They
like knew it was a playoff, so they knew it was a short term and it had to end. But a season long bubble, whew. I don't think nobody trying to be away from their family for 5 months straight. I
think they'll just postpone the season and extend it as long as they have to, or put some type of precautions or protocols in place. But I'm not another bubble. If we got to have another bubble, that means something's going wrong again.
But honestly, to Sean's point, bro, I don't see the virus letting up. So it's like,
no damn end in sight. I feel them. That's why the question was asked, because we don't see no end in sight. This shit is terrible, bro. Bro, the second wave here, and he's trying to downplay it. Second wave is here, bro. It ain't even cold outside. It's only hoodie season.
And bro, every time people get together, people get the virus, bro.
See, this is why we boom. This is why we hit break the season in quarter. If you got a bubble,
yeah,
already solutions right then and there.
Yep. Pay this man.
Pay this, put him on the payroll. See, pile him ass, and pile him salt already. If you break it up,
Solutions. He got a business called Weekend Solutions. So he's solution oriented.
Specialized. This is what he specializes in.
What most cannons are. You feel me? So like I tried to offer the bubble solution to the NFL prior to this, and no, not the NBA style bubble solution, a regional bubble solution. I offered it up prior to, which they could have done and could have avoided a lot of the mess that we're experiencing now. But neither here nor there.
Let's get it. We got another one. Let's see. Should Jimmy Butler get more respect as a superstar? Because I believe he is.
I'm giving him absolute superstar respect after that. I can't. Even if you were a Jimmy Butler, if you were a hater of Jimmy Butler and you're still a hater, but you're not giving him his due, then I can't respect it, because dude's a flat out superstar, because he was getting buckets on Bron, AD, whoever. And I don't care what anybody says, bro. Most teams, if you take a lot of other superstars out and you give them that same Miami Heat team, you just take Jimmy Butler out and you put another superstar in, I don't know if they get 2 wins. I don't even know if they get past the Celtics to get to the finals. So dude's definitely a superstar, because a lot of what the Heat were able to do in their run in the bubble was because of Jimmy Butler.
A lot of people give Jimmy his flack because he's not an elite scorer like a lot of other players, but he does a lot of other things. Like, that toughness and grit cannot be understated. Like, his defensive prowess cannot be understated, and he can score. Just because he's not a natural scorer at heart, like he just don't ISO, you know what I'm saying? Just every game, every week, that's just not his natural game. Doesn't take any less than his game.
I feel like
and on top of that, he showed this year more so than his other years that he can initiate the offense and he can pass. So come on, man. Jimmy is just a hooper, a superstar hooper. That, it is what it. You put him on the floor and he gonna make things happen.
Sean says, what's your criteria for a superstar then? Because he disagrees. My criteria for a superstar is someone who can do it on the biggest levels against anybody in any situations. And that was clearly Jimmy Butler. He wasn't folding under pressure in the crunch time. He wasn't folding under pressure when they got down runs and needed a comeback. He was doing whatever it took to keep his team afloat to try to win a championship. And yes, he came up short, but look what he was stacked up against, man. And with the injuries that his team faced and that he faced, bro, he took the high ankle sprain and didn't miss a beat. Came back off of that, played his best game to date. You feel me? With the most on the line. So it's like, if he's not a superstar, then what is? Like, what do you have to be? I get it when you try to say that compared to LeBron. Like, bro, we know that LeBron is a megastar, but Jimmy Butler is a superstar. I guarantee you there's little kids in the United States of America who want to be like Jimmy Butler. I guarantee you.
But because they can be Jimmy Butler. Work hard. Like, this is one of the easiest stories that you can be that. You know what? Who have we elevated as superstars? Normally we elevated, like, for instance, KD became a superstar.
Steph, because I was one of the only people in 09 saying that Steph was good. People gave up on Steph in 09 and in 10 back when they still had Monte Ellis, man.
But think about it. You got Steph, you got KD, you got Giannis, you got Kawhi. These are people that we built them up on superstar status because what? Because they went up against Big Dog. They went up against Big Dog LeBron and didn't waver. They stood toe to toe. And you had to gain that respect. You punched the bully, basically. You punched the bully. Now, how many other people, stars, that we seen go against LeBron and then they fold? Paul George. Prime example. Like you stood up. He matched LeBron's game in the on the highest stage. That's Jimmy. That's somebody that you didn't know. Like, what more did you really want him to do?
2 triple doubles.
Yeah, Bron didn't even have 2 triple doubles.
So it's like, come on, man.
Butler is the definition of a baller. What needs to be done to win tonight is what Butler would give you every night.
Yeah.
Every night. So if it calls for me to just play defense all night,
and then I'll do that. And a lot of people won't do that.
But if it calls me to go get 40 tonight,
then I'll do that too.
That's superstar status. I know it ain't glitz and glamour like everybody else. He ain't dropping 60. He ain't. It's always like. But you need some of that grit sometimes, and Jimmy provide that. And I've been saying this for a while, so you know what I'm saying. I think differently.
But nah, I just thought I was like Sean. I had Jimmy in the next tier of stars for sure, all stars.
And that's fine.
But he proved to me, I always say I go by the eye test. I'm not gonna look at what he was doing. I was begging like the basket. I'm like, yo, he's making every shot. Like, who is this? Like, he's getting whatever he wanted to on the floor. So it was like, and no one could stop him, So it's like, hey man, if that ain't a superstar, I don't know what is.
Then hey, we just got to figure out. We're gonna have to have a broader discussion. What do we need to do moving forward? Because we can't stay packed. I mean, we won, and whoop-de-doo.
Mm-hmm.
And LeBron teams are always going to be the hunter. He can't hide from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So he's definitely going to have a bigger bullseye on their back, and teams are going to be coming for him. So they got to improve this roster.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Well, we got Avery Bradley coming back, correct?
Yeah, he's still coming back.
We got Avery Bradley coming back. I honestly would go back and sign Rondo and KCP. I know they opted out, but I would bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
I would bring them back, and I would try to add one more piece, one more shooter, and that's it. I wouldn't even do too much. And I'm honestly, I'm not letting KCP walk after what he did. Like, I know he had the one game where, they had the memes when he and all of that. But after that, KCP been here. Like, he had his reality check. He showed up for the Lakers. He was instrumental to that championship run. So I would just bring that guy back. A lot of times people like to let people who are a key part of their runs walk. I'm not a fan of that. I say go get him, bring them back to someone prove that they can beat them. That's what I would do.
We're going to need another piece somehow to compete. And once again, I try to be realistic. Some of these trades that I see that they got us trying to go for, I'm not for. Like, for prime example, one of the trades they got, we're going to go get Bradley Beal. With what? We have no assets to trade for anybody, actually. So I'm not even going to get worked up and get hyped about a Bradley Beal trade or a Chris Paul trade. Do we have enough? We have a lot to get. We could give up a lot to get Chris Paul. Me personally, I'm not.
We won't have anything left.
Yeah, I'm not overhauling my team for this Chris Paul.
Especially after how he performed in the clutch this year. I'm done with him.
He made an all NBA team. He, took a Thunder team that nobody thought that was going to make the playoffs. He balled. And I would love for CP3 to be on this current Lakers team next year. But I'm not giving up nothing to get him.
No.
Somehow he takes a buyout and becomes a free agent. I will welcome him with open arms. And that's what I'm kind of predicting. Because I don't see a trade. I don't see a trade for Chris Paul. I'm sorry. I don't see the Bucks. If it's reported the Bucks trying to go get him, I don't see them giving up a whole lot to go get Chris Paul. If the Knicks go get Chris Paul, then they're just going to be the Knicks again, and it's not going to change nothing. I just don't see him.
More power to them if they go ahead and get Chris Paul. Go ahead,
I
Nick.
think a buyout is going to come. They're going to try their hand and trade him. I mean, they're going to try their hand, and which they should. But I just don't see. I don't see a buyout in his. I mean, I don't see a trade in his future. I see a buyout, and I do hopefully see him coming to LA. I would love to get a Jeremy Grant. The way he balled for Denver in that playoff, he would be perfect.
He was cooking up.
But I'm like you on one hand. I'm bringing everybody back.
Yeah,
I'm bringing everybody back.
They were instrumental. So it's like, as much as you bring that, that's the championship roster right there. You can move if you want to add more. I see that, but you need to still bring the core back, and the core to me is bigger than just Bron and AD.
You got to add because it's people.
You got to add. Yeah, I still say you need to add. You should add. Try to add a better big to help AD out or a better shooter. But I feel like
another shooter. You can always use another facilitator. You know, another playmaker, somebody that can score. You're going to need somebody that can score on their own. Somebody that can score on their own.
That's why I said bring KCP back, because if you don't, you automatically losing someone who can score on their own.
You know, we got to read some of these comments. Got the Bucks need another player that can score like a DeMar. The only reason I don't like DeMar with the Bucks is because he can't shoot.
I like him.
I like him.
I like him with the Bucks better than I do with the Spurs. I don't like that. I never liked that.
For some reason, it's not working. It's just not working.
I said that.
But think about it with the Bucks. They already loading up to stop to force Giannis to shoot. So now you put another player on the floor that can't shoot. They're going to be easier to defend come playoff time. But that's why I don't like the fit.
But it's like you can try to force DeMar to shoot, but he can keep his dribble and still get to the rack. So it's like, and if you trying to force Giannis to shoot, then DeMar could be a slasher. So it's like I would like to see them two together. That's not that bad to me.
That's another team that needs somebody else that can score. So once again, make it happen, because you don't have anybody that can go get their own shot. So get it. I'm just have reservations because he's a limited shooter.
Yeah,
and you already have a Giannis that has trouble shooting.
But if you can get him and then bring in a shooter, and the thing about Giannis is we've seen every year Giannis is willing to improve. So it's like, I know that each year Giannis is not going to shoot as bad as he did the year before. So he's trending up as far as shooting. So there's going to come a time and point in the next 5 years where we might say, yo, Giannis is lights out. And you heard it here first. Like, you heard it here first. I know that y'all probably think that's crazy, but you heard it here first. Watch.
Final showed the importance of a traditional center. I'm not sold on small ball. We was never sold on small ball. I was never sold on small ball.
Ever.
Small ball, basically, you know, your bigs is trash. Once your bigs is trash, you had to go small. You got to put your best players on the floor. I understand that. But versatility is key. And Vogel and the Lakers have showed that you can have multiple lineups and play with anybody, match up with anybody. If you just small, like, that's it. So you can't go to anything. You can't match up with everybody.
That's a fact.
Like I said, I mean, you definitely got to get some versatility, though.
Yeah, I was never ever sold on small ball. Even when Golden State was winning and just shooting the lights out, I used to tell Hill all the time, like, why is our teams trying to load up with shooters to beat them? Why don't they just go in there with a dominant center like the Lakers did when they had Shaq or somebody and just keep throwing them the ball, let them get and ones the old-fashioned way, dominate boards, and just say, y'all are too small, and make them take those shooters off the floor. But no one ever did it. Everyone always tried to beat them at their own game, which you never could do because that was their style. So it's like, you got to just come in there with brute force, which is why, going back to your earlier question, if they were healthy, Lakers or the Warriors, I say Lakers, because I think the Warriors' number one weakness has always been defending real big. So,
do the Nets need one more piece? I don't believe so. I believe that if they just bring in KD and a healthy Kyrie with the pieces that they already have, they have enough They have enough to get to the finals. Chemistry is going to be their issue. I believe they have all the pieces in the world, to be quite honest. LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie. Hopefully they can bring back Joe Harris, in my opinion. I think the next got a lot. What you think, Ken?
I want to see them actually try it before bringing anybody else in, because these two guys in particular are very arrogant. So it's like, all right, I don't want you to bring anybody else in. Like you said, y'all should be enough with the role players that you do have. Y'all should be able to go out there and get to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I honestly think it's going to be tougher than that with Milwaukee, with Indiana, and with Miami coming back. So it's like, they got, hey. But I want to see them try to do it without bringing in no more pieces, because y'all are supposed to be the guys.
Yeah, y'all supposed to be superstars already. So y'all go ahead and show up, put your big boy pants on, and y'all supposed to be healthy. What top free agents should Sixers pick up? Anybody that can shoot. We said this. We said a couple shows back. Anybody that can shoot. If you can shoot, Philly. If you can't shoot, don't call Philly. Don't go nowhere near Philly. Don't even get a Philly cheesesteak if you can't shoot. Don't do none of that. Like, it's neat. I like that. I would like that. I would love to get Gallinari.
Yeah, that'd be a definitely good fit, because Gallinari can shoot the perimeter shot, plus create his own shot when he need to. I like that fit, and he can just be big on the wing and make it tougher.
Should we trade Kuzma? See, the thing about trading Kuzma is he has a minimal contract. That's why I've been opposed to trading Kuzma all this time. His contract is trash, so we're trading him for somebody else that's going to be a veteran trash. And I'm not sold on vet trash.
Yeah, me neither. I hate that trash.
I get it, Laker Nation. Sometimes Kuzma is frustrating.
He hit or miss, man.
He's inconsistent. I get it. But the fact that we can't upgrade because of his contract is the fact that I'm gonna just roll with him. Like, but I feel you. I feel anybody that want to get rid of him. I can't defend him.
Kuz just needs more clock to be better, and that's really what it is. Kuz was cold. He has to be hot. He's a streaky player, so it's like he needs more touches to get his streak going. And unfortunately, on the team that he's on, he didn't have those opportunities this year. But I don't think that they should get rid of him, because he definitely gonna go somewhere else and flourish. And like Hill said, we're gonna get a trash vet in return, who we already know the ceiling for. Kuzma can still get better.
Bill trade, we need Kuzma, Green, Alex, and a few picks for Bradley. Like, that's I would love Bradley Beal in the league. Don't get me wrong. I would love it. It's just the fact that I just don't believe it's happening.
That's a lot of I like Caruso, man. And people aren't putting that much value on Danny Green. I'm not trading Bill for anything with Danny Green involved.
But Lakers, we trying to get rid of Danny Green. He's involved in every trade.
Just cut him, bro. Just cut him, man. Danny Green, the best I've ever seen him was against the Miami Heat, when Miami Heat came back. But Danny Green was potentially about to be the finals MVP that series. I don't know what year it was, but he was trying to put the Heat away, bro. And it's like, ever since then, it's been a steady decline every year for Danny Green.
What you think y'all need? I doubt CP3 would fit in LA. If anything, PG not as dominant. See, but that's what Bron just showed you. I was thinking that same way for a long time, but Bron just showed you he would give up the reins to play a facilitating point guard, because he was on the court a lot with Rondo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hating it. You can ask Ken. I'm like, get them off the floor together. I hated it every time, but it showed me that Bron can play off the ball, because
I've been saying it for years.
Really, he only let.
He got to trust someone on the ball, and that's the issue. And so he trusted Rondo on the ball. And so he said, okay, I can be off the ball. But it's like, I think that's the same thing for Kobe and Michael too. They could have played off the ball, but they didn't trust nobody to be on the ball, which is why they were shooting guards that handled the rock because can't trust you with it.
Yeah. But what CP3 showed in Houston, he can play off the ball as well. And that's what I like to fit with him and LeBron, because they both show that they can give up something to make it work.
But I don't want. I'm
not giving up. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, we're not giving up everything for. I'll be damned. I mean, this is what
CP is old, man.
But this is what Bron does, bro. This is what Bron teams does. They get rid of a lot of pieces sometimes and load up. They load up.
But Bron is old too now. Bron teams are gonna have to start investing into younger players.
But does he know that? All he know is his championship window. And if he feel that football, like I said, if he feel that's a championship window, he ain't thinking about the future.
Yeah, I mean, if it's reasonable, they'll bring him in. But I just don't feel like the trade we were looking at. I don't think they will overhaul the roster, like send 4 people out just to bring one guy in.
But they're gonna have to because of the contract. He got a big ass contract, so it's like you got to match it somehow.
And that's why I say stay the hell away from CP3. Stay the hell away from him. But I think Jeremy Grant, he can shoot in college, so it's like he wasn't getting. Sometimes it just doesn't click early on in your career when the defense is different. People close out hard in the NBA, so it changes. I just think he found his shooting touch that summer, and I think that's what we're saying. I don't think he necessarily could not shoot prior to, because he been a scorer. You know, we've been waiting for this. I seen Jeremy Grant play a lot in high school also. So,
see, this is what Drew Holiday to the Lakers would be an issue. I would love for Drew Holiday to be a Laker. But I just don't feel that the Pelicans are gonna do another deal with the Lakers. So, I feel we done. I think we done with them.
What they got to lose, man? What they got to lose?
Viable player, underrated player. He would be the perfect piece for us. I mean, the perfect piece. He would finally get his respect defensively, because he don't get that. And oh my God, I don't even want to think. See, stuff like that, I don't even want to think, because it ain't gonna be realistic. Because I like to be realistic when it comes to my trade.
We had tylue signed this week. Signed a 5-year deal with the Los Angeles Clippers. Mm-hmm. What's y'all take in the comments? And Hill, what's your take on that? Also brought Chauncey Billups with him.
I like it. I like it because we get the Clippers a lot of flack and wish it was well deserved. But they just need to run it back. And sometimes you just need to run it back. And sometimes you just need to do a few things differently that you clearly did wrong initially. Like, get your chemistry right.
Mm-hmm.
Just get your chemistry right, and then you will be the team that everybody predicted y'all to be. And the one thing that tylue has been known to do is hold people accountable. People like to, they like to talk bad about them. Bron did this, it's Bron teams, Bron that. But the reports have been said plenty of times that tylue was one of the only few coaches that held LeBron accountable. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to hang my hat on that. And like I said, I'll be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. Tristan Thompson last week was on one of them shows, and he literally said, bro, I've witnessed it. tylue don't back down from no player, Bron included. And so it is what it is. Coaches coach, players play, man.
And, you hold them accountable. And then all of this bickering that they got, all these bogus reports that they got all coming out now, we're not about to have. I think tylue is ready for this job. And, like, for me, I'm always you get 2 chances with me. I hate retreads, but my exemption is this your second chance? Go ahead and get it out of the way and make the best of it. And make the best of it. And it's a bona fide championship roster. Like, come
I think it's a good fit.
I like Chauncey Billups. I like because I like him personally. Hey, he was a leader. I think he can connect with the players. I wasn't a fan of him just immediately getting the head coaching job because I'm not a fan of anybody getting a head coaching job immediately with no experience. But putting him in that assistant chair where he can directly talk to the players and be the leader that he was somewhat on the floor. I like that move. I like that right then and there. And they got Larry Drew. Larry Drew is another respected assistant coach in this league. So now you got a respected staff.
Mm-hmm.
You go out there and handle your chemistry issue, you're going to be a threat.
Yeah,
it is what it is. I like the move.
Yeah, I definitely like the Chauncey Billups move, especially knowing the fact that it's been well known that Chauncey Billups has been seeking a head coaching position. So the fact that Chauncey was humble enough to say, you know what, let me take this assistant role and try to learn some stuff before I go out there and set myself up too. Because like you said, Hill, not only do you hate retreads, the league hates retreads, especially when you don't have the you know what I'm saying? So it's smart for him to go out there and get his feet wet, get your coaching legs up under you, learn how to do it before you venture out. And I think they might be a good tandem together. 2 point guards, man. Mr. Big Shot, and then you got tylue, who's just solid. So it's like, and with the championship pedigree that he got as far as coaching, so it's like, man, I think if anybody could try to turn this roster around, why not 2 young black guys who could relate to the players? So let's see it.
No, we don't know that. We already when he got hired, we already said we had to say about Doc. I mean, he might do something with him, but they need roster improvement before we go ahead and do Sixers. I like the hire. We go ahead and get tylue one more chance and show what he can do. And like I said, this is gonna be his last chance because you go from LeBron to Kawhi.
I mean, he got a chip though. It's like why it's got to be his last chance? It's people like Mike Woods. Okay, Mike Woods that had unlimited. People that had chances. It's like I think I feel like tylue been successful as a head coach.
But they don't want to give him credit. They don't want to give him credit. It's the he had Bron. It's the he had Bron thing. And we've been telling y'all Vogel.
Plenty coaches had Bron and didn't get chips. So if it was that simple, then they would have unlimited chips. Plenty coaches had Kobe. Kobe played what, 17 years or 20? How many years?
20.
He got 5 rings. So it's like, if it was just as simple as having Kobe, why don't have 10 rings then? Mm-hmm. You still gotta have a coach, man. So and teammates, and you gotta have the whole thing lined up. So it's like it's not as easy as saying he have Bron, man. tylue coached the Cavs to a championship. Nobody can take that away from him. And I don't care if he had Bron. You needed Bron. They was never going to get a chip without him.
You got to coach. Like you say, you got to coach. Because if Vogel was doing a horrible job, we wouldn't have won this. We would not have
won. We would have lost because Spo,
so you got to coach.
Spo was coaching his ass off.
If Doc is a good hire, still a good hire, then Lou is more than good. That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's what I just said. I agree with Mark right there.
We're going to finish it off with this last supporter question right here. Jamar Jackson get hell yeah.
Yeah, I've been saying that. But it's like, do he want it? It's like Mark be confusing me, man. I feel like he loved that commentating job too. And the stresses that came with the coaching job, I feel like he ain't with that. I feel like he loves the game and he loves being around the players, but I feel like it's easier to just commentate it compared to coaching it.
Well, he said that he wants to coach again, but he's not going about it the way that I think we want him to go about. We want him to be as loud as he is during the game about being a coach. He's being a coach. He's been, he's very religious. So if God wanted for him, it's going to happen for him. And some of these teams, like, honestly, before they hired Tibbs, New York needed Mark Jackson. New York needed Mark Jackson 2 coaches ago. You got to bring your boy home. He understands New York. That's somebody that understands New York. He could have brought New York back to something. I'm not saying bringing him back to the promised land, but he could have brought him back to something, to respectable. And so he didn't get that job. He honestly, I Like the Pelicans, you know, Rockets should give him a chance. You know, he should get a job. It's no way other straight. He should get another chance. Like you said, you get 2 chances with me. You get 2 chances with me. So I'm with that. Give him another chance to show that he can coach, man.
I mean, he did well his first tenure, so it's like I never saw any reason for him not to be the coach.
It shouldn't take this long for him to get another job. You feel what I'm saying?
So, you know, that's why I've always chalked it up to the fact that maybe he really don't want a job.
I would say he would be perfect for the Indiana job, but I already felt that Nate McMillan should have never got fired, and I don't know what they're gonna do with Oladipo. If I had a crystal ball, understand what they was gonna do with Oladipo, I would say Mark Jackson would be perfect for that job.
If they had a coach, you might have a clear picture because the coach will come in there and say, like, I either want to move forward with Oladipo or I don't. And they get on the same page with the GM, but it's like they wasting time at this point. The season's over. You need to get a coach.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? But I think the reports is they try, because Victor already said, well, not he already said, but the reports that he wants out, and it seemed like they trying to move Miles Turner. It's like, well, I'm not sure of that. I want to put Mark Jackson in that job if he's not going to have the pieces that they have. So
definitely just want to be in Indiana with nothing.
Yeah, definitely. You will look like Nate McMillan and end up getting fired. But I want to appreciate
2 chances with him, and he gonna be done.
You feel what I'm saying?
Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-man week. We come at you with topics. No, you cannot stop it.